Hello guys, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna change the starter motor on Peugeot 407 SW, and it's 2-liter HDI, quite a popular engine size. And yeah, starter motor is quite an easy job. It's only 3 size 8 hex bolts, and then you have a 1 size 8 and 1 size 13, and yeah. Right, so the first thing to do is, because you're working with an electrical component basically, and you can shorten it up and you're gonna burn your new starter or something else, always disconnect the battery first. So that's the first thing you want to do, is just disconnect your battery. Make sure the positives and negatives doesn't really gain away for you. And then the second thing is, you're gonna have to remove this air filter housing, just so it would give you a slightly better access where the starter motor bolts are. So first thing I would do is I would untighten the intercooler hose, because it's getting in the way a little bit for the air filter housing to come out. And then next thing you want to do is disconnect, also untighten anti-clockwise the bolt on this clip, which basically you need to slide it off the air filter housing. Next thing to do is this mass airflow sensor. You have to disconnect it just like that. Just keep it on the side somewhere, that's fine. And then you're gonna have this little bit here, which is connected to the air filter housing. What you have to do, normally there is like a star keys, but I don't have one here for some reason, I don't know why. And what you have to do is pop a little clip out of it. I'm not sure if you can, how is the best way to show you. Here you go, I hope you can see. So it's a little clip, clips off here, you pull it out, yeah. And then this, what it does here, just comes up like this, and you can take it off the actual thing. So you have a hole out. In that side it just pushes in, and a clip is only on one side, keep it there. Next thing, you want to take this intercooler hose off. Then you want to move the air thing. I'm gonna do it in a second. Another thing, make more space, take an engine cover off. Right, come on buddy. Right, just put that somewhere, not in the way. Now you can see your starter motor, it's just there. You can have a good fairly good access, and you can clearly see the bolts, which you need to undo. 113 on the top and 1/8 on the side, 8mm on the side. Once we remove this airbox, you're going to be able to see all the hex keys as well. So I'm just going to do that now. Oh, just one more thing to show. It's in here. There is on the airbox is a little clip. You have to push it to be able to pull your airbox out up a little bit. And then let me just carry on with this thing. Right, place this camera somewhere. So I'm just gonna move this one and lift the airbox out. Ooh, okay. Right, so the airbox is almost out. I take our airbox out. Right, hello. So that can rest there. Now you can see all 3 bolts, which is for starter motor. So first thing you want to do is not these bolts. First thing you want to do, it's the 13mm and an 8mm ones for the electricity for starter. So I just have undone 8mm one, you can see here from the top, and now I'm gonna just undo the 13mm one. Once it's undone, it comes up easy. You can do it with your fingers really. So push a little bit to undo it easy. As you can see, I can undo it with my finger. Don't lose the bolts, that's important. Once it's off, just gently slide the connections off. Your battery is off anyway, so it's alright. Nothing's gonna shorten or anything. Just get them a bit off the way. The next thing you're gonna do, you're gonna undo these hex 8mm, size 8 hex keys, hex bolts. Okay, come on, 3 of them in total. Comes off easy. Have to take them out totally in order to take a starter motor out easy. Yeah, it's quite a long keys. Quite long bolts. Alright. Then we have a second one here. Sorry if I don't know if you can see. Here we go. Okay. Doesn't want to come off easy, so I'm just gonna grab something. Right, so what I went and done, I grabbed myself a longer hex key so I could access it better, and literally pop that bolt out. It's really annoying. This is long, it's not in the best place really, so that's what happens sometimes. You have to just look through your keys, look through your tools, see what's better. Right, it's nicely coming out. So now I start to undo the bolt. I can see, because I've undone the top ones first, the bottom bolt, it goes on an angle. So what you need to do, you just, once you undo this bolt, the starter, you can literally just pick it up and take it out. It's as simple as that. And yeah, that's how easy it is. And then once you want to put everything back together, you can see it's nicely going on an angle. It barely touches anything it shouldn't touch. Lovely stuff, lovely that. Right, so the both bolts are out. I'm just gonna pull it out. Gloves is ripped. Hold on. Yeah, the bolt is quite long, but they are all out, all nice and safe. And all you have left now is a starter motor, which is here. And yeah, we're just gonna have to take out. What I would suggest is remove this, I think is an oil temperature sensor. Not 100% sure, because it's getting a little bit in a way. All you need to do is just a little clip, take it off away, and then your starter motor should be able to, literally you should be able to just take it out. I'm gonna try to show you through here. There you go, you just take it out just like that. As you can see, that's your starter motor. Right, so you have an old one out. You can see here where it sits, right on the flywheel. Okay, so to put a new one in, it's exactly same thing, exactly same procedure. I'm filming and I'm doing it with one hand, so you guys have both hands probably, so surely it's even easier for you. But even with one hand, what I want to do, back end first, a little bit, and then going there, and here we go. I got it in a place where it's supposed to be. What I would need to do now is I would do the bottom bolt first, or whatever, just to catch the bolt. So first thing you want to do when you stick a new starter in a place is do them 3 bolts up, back again, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, right, so now I put all the bolts in the places. I need to tie them up. I tied one up, make sure it's nice and tight and it's all properly done up. Hello. Okay. Okay, so the bolts has to be nice and tight. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna go back to the other side of the starter motor. As you remember, we had this little oil temperature sensor. We have to plug it back. I'll try to get a better picture. Stick it back in. So I just wanted to show you. Right, now I put the little connectors on the place where I should. Make sure it's all nice and tight. The 8mm one, and now 13mm. Now once it's done, you can see 8mm is nice and tight on the top, and the 13mm is nice and tight back on the side. Right, so once the starter is back on, all the bolts are tightened on this side, nice and tight. All the electric connections on here is nice and tight. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna put that airbox back, air filter box back in. So that's my air filter box. Goes back in the same place. This connection should be on this side. Now, in here you have this little thing here. Sorry, just here. Here we go. So that went in nicely. Right, so our air intake box is back in a place. Just have to put this one back on. Okay. There you go, that's back on. It's gonna need to tighten it here, and the mass airflow connector back in a place as well, please. And then intercooler hose back on. Now let's tighten them up. There we go. Right, nice and easy, clockwise. Make sure it's nice and tight on the intercooler hose. And same thing here. So now your air filter housing is back in. You can put your as long as your mass airflow sensor connector is on, bolts are done on the starter motor, and connectors are done in the back, and that plug we disconnected earlier on here is back on. You can put your battery connectors back on, put the cover back on. Okay, your cover is back on, your battery is back on. Now the last thing is left is just this one, which goes here for the top of the hose. Goes nicely in it, and here it goes just like that. Pushes in a little bit, and we're gonna put a clip in a minute. What I want to do now, once everything is back on, well, still need to put the engine cover on. Here you go, engine cover is back on. Now we're gonna try to start the car, and to see if a new starter works or not. Yeah, the starter works absolutely fine. Yeah, well, thank you for watching, guys. I hope the video was helpful. Please subscribe,